In the bustling world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in heated debates and unproductive arguments. These exchanges often lead to frustration, anger, and damaged relationships. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their practical wisdom and emotional resilience, offered valuable insights on how to navigate these situations. Their teachings on avoiding arguments with fools provide a roadmap for maintaining peace of mind and fostering harmonious interactions. By understanding the Stoic perspective, we can learn to choose our battles wisely, preserve our energy, and cultivate a more serene and fulfilling life. In this post, we will examine this issue. Do not argue with fools in 7 cases. Number 1. When they refuse to listen. Dealing with individuals who refuse to listen can be an exhausting and frustrating experience. Stoic philosophy provides valuable insight into how to handle such situations effectively. Instead of engaging in endless debates, Stoics advise us to recognize the futility of arguing with those who are unwilling to hear us. By focusing on maintaining our own composure and clarity, we preserve our peace of mind and avoid the emotional drain of futile arguments. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize our own responses and attitudes. When faced with someone who refuses to listen, we have control over how we react. Rather than getting caught up in a pointless argument, we can choose to remain calm and composed. This approach aligns with Stoic principles, allowing us to manage our emotions and avoid escalating conflicts. By staying true to our own values and maintaining our dignity, we navigate these challenging interactions more effectively. Another key Stoic principle is understanding the nature of the person with whom we are interacting. Not everyone is open to rational discussion or constructive feedback. Stoicism encourages us to accept people as they are and adjust our expectations accordingly. If someone is set in their ways and unwilling to engage meaningfully, it's often best to disengage rather than forcing a conversation. This acceptance helps us avoid unnecessary frustration and focus on more productive interactions. Setting clear boundaries is another Stoic strategy for dealing with unresponsive individuals. When you find that a conversation is going nowhere, it's important to establish limits on how much time and energy you invest. Stoicism emphasizes protecting your own well-being by avoiding conflicts that are unlikely to yield positive results. By setting boundaries and choosing when to walk away, you maintain control over your own emotional state and avoid getting caught up in fruitless disputes. Engaging with people who refuse to listen also requires a strategic approach. Stoics advocate for redirecting conversations towards more productive topics or choosing to disengage when necessary. This helps us conserve our energy and focus on interactions that are likely to be more rewarding. By using this approach, we align with Stoic values of focusing on what we can control and avoiding unnecessary conflict, thus preserving our own peace and well-being. Ultimately, avoiding arguments with those who refuse to listen fosters a more positive and harmonious environment. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we shift our focus from changing others to managing our own responses. This shift not only enhances our own happiness, but also improves our interactions with others. Embracing Stoic principles in challenging conversations allows us to maintain our composure, engage in more meaningful exchanges, and protect our inner peace from being disrupted by unproductive arguments. Number 2. When they twist your words. Dealing with individuals who twist your words can be incredibly frustrating. According to Stoic philosophy, engaging in debates with those who distort your intentions often leads to unproductive outcomes. Instead of getting caught in a cycle of misinterpretation and conflict, Stoics advise us to maintain our composure and clarity. By focusing on our own responses and not getting entangled in every misinterpretation, we protect our peace of mind and avoid the emotional drain of pointless arguments. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others interpret our words, but can control our own reactions. When faced with someone who twists what you say, it's crucial to remain calm and centered. Reacting with frustration only fuels further misunderstandings. Instead, respond with patience and clarity, ensuring that your own communication remains transparent. This approach aligns with Stoic principles of maintaining inner tranquility and dignity, helping you navigate challenging conversations without becoming emotionally overwhelmed. Understanding the nature of the person twisting your words is another key Stoic principle. Not everyone will engage in fair or rational discourse. Stoicism encourages us to accept that some individuals may be more interested in conflict than in constructive dialogue. By recognizing this, you can manage your expectations and avoid investing unnecessary energy in correcting every distortion. This acceptance helps prevent frustration and allows you to focus your efforts on more meaningful interactions where your words are valued and understood. Setting boundaries is an effective Stoic strategy for dealing with those who misinterpret your words. When you find that a conversation is being twisted or misrepresented, it's important to establish limits on how much time and energy you devote to it. Stoic philosophy advocates for protecting your own mental well-being by avoiding conflicts that are unlikely to resolve positively. By setting clear boundaries, you maintain control over your interactions and prevent yourself from getting drawn into endless disputes. Engaging strategically with individuals who twist your words can also be beneficial. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, which includes choosing how we engage with others. If you find that your words are continuously being misrepresented, redirect the conversation to more constructive topics or politely disengage. This approach helps conserve your energy for discussions that are likely to be more productive and aligned with your values, enhancing your overall interaction quality. Ultimately, applying Stoic principles to conversations where your words are twisted helps maintain your peace of mind and dignity. By focusing on your own responses, setting boundaries, and engaging strategically, you create a more positive and harmonious environment. Stoicism teaches us to manage our interactions with grace and to avoid getting bogged down by every distortion. Number 3. When they seek attention, not truth. When faced with individuals who seek attention rather than truth, engaging in arguments can be counterproductive. Stoic philosophy teaches us that arguing with those more interested in drawing attention than in honest dialogue often leads nowhere. Instead of being drawn into a battle of egos, it's wiser to recognize their intent and choose to disengage. By doing so, you protect your own peace of mind and avoid the fruitless energy drain of such interactions. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what we can control, which includes our responses to others' behavior. When someone seeks attention rather than engaging in meaningful conversation, we have the power to decide how we react. Instead of feeding into their need for validation or confrontation, we can remain calm and composed. This approach aligns with Stoic principles of self-control and tranquility, allowing us to maintain our dignity and avoid escalating conflicts that serve no constructive purpose. Understanding the motives behind someone's behavior is key to navigating these situations effectively. Stoicism encourages us to recognize that not everyone is interested in truth or reason. Some individuals may use conversation as a platform to draw attention or provoke reactions. By identifying this, you can adjust your expectations and avoid investing unnecessary time and energy in discussions that are unlikely to be productive. This awareness helps prevent frustration and keeps your interactions focused on more meaningful exchanges. Setting boundaries is another Stoic strategy for dealing with attention seekers. When you encounter someone whose primary goal is to attract attention, it's important to establish limits on how much you engage with them. Stoic philosophy advises us to protect our own mental and emotional well-being by avoiding interactions that lead to unproductive conflict. By setting clear boundaries, you conserve your energy for more constructive conversations and preserve your own peace of mind. Strategically managing your interactions with those seeking attention also involves choosing when to disengage. Stoicism teaches us that we have control over how we invest our time and energy. If a conversation is clearly aimed at gaining attention rather than seeking truth, it may be best to politely withdraw. This allows you to focus on interactions that are more aligned with your values and objectives, enhancing the quality of your social exchanges and preserving your own well-being. Ultimately, applying Stoic principles in interactions with attention seekers helps maintain your inner tranquility and dignity. By recognizing the intent behind their behavior, controlling your own responses, setting boundaries, and choosing when to disengage, you navigate these situations with grace. Stoicism guides us to avoid futile arguments and invest our energy in more meaningful interactions, ensuring that our own peace of mind is protected amidst challenging conversations. Number 4. When they reject facts. When confronted with individuals who reject facts, engaging in an argument can often be a fruitless endeavor. Stoics advise against arguing with those who dismiss clear evidence or rational discussion, as it rarely leads to constructive outcomes. Instead of trying to force acceptance, it's more effective to remain composed and disengage. This approach saves you from unnecessary conflict and maintains your peace of mind. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on what is within our control. In interactions where facts are dismissed, we can control our own responses and attitudes. Rather than becoming frustrated or angry, choose to respond calmly and avoid getting drawn into heated debates. This aligns with Stoic principles of maintaining inner tranquility and avoiding conflicts that are unlikely to be resolved. By controlling your reaction, you stay grounded and avoid escalating the situation further. Understanding the nature of the person rejecting facts is crucial. Not everyone values evidence or rational discourse. Some may be more interested in asserting their own views than engaging in honest discussion. Stoicism encourages us to accept that we cannot change everyone's mindset. Instead of investing energy in convincing those who are set in their beliefs, focus on conversations with individuals who are open to reason. This shift helps you manage your expectations and directs your efforts where they are most likely to be productive. Setting boundaries is an effective Stoic strategy when dealing with those who reject facts. If you find that discussions with certain individuals are becoming repetitive and unproductive, it's important to establish limits. Stoicism advocates for protecting your own mental and emotional well-being by avoiding conflicts that do not serve a constructive purpose. By setting clear boundaries, you preserve your energy for more meaningful exchanges and maintain your peace of mind in the face of obstinate disagreement. Engaging strategically with individuals who reject facts involves choosing when to disengage. Stoicism teaches us that we have control over how we invest our time and energy. If a conversation becomes clear that facts are being ignored, it may be wise to politely withdraw. This approach allows you to conserve your resources for discussions where evidence and reason are valued, enhancing the quality of your interactions and ensuring that your time is spent more effectively. Ultimately, applying Stoic principles in situations where facts are rejected helps maintain your tranquility and dignity. By focusing on your own responses, understanding others' motives, setting boundaries, and managing your engagement, you navigate these challenging interactions with grace. Stoicism guides us to avoid futile arguments and invest our energy in more constructive and fulfilling exchanges. Number 5. When they belittle or insult you. When confronted with belittlement or insults, it's tempting to respond in kind, but Stoic philosophy offers a more measured approach. Stoics advise against engaging in arguments with those who use insults as a weapon. Instead of lowering yourself to their level, maintain your composure and focus on your own principles. By refusing to react emotionally, you preserve your dignity and avoid the trap of engaging in a fruitless and damaging exchange. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of controlling your own reactions. When someone belittles or insults you, you cannot control their behavior, but you can choose how to respond. Stoic wisdom teaches us to remain calm and centered, regardless of others' provocations. This self-control prevents you from being drawn into unnecessary conflict and ensures that your response is grounded in reason rather than emotion. Maintaining your composure is key to handling such situations effectively. Understanding why people resort to belittlement or insults is also crucial. Often, such behavior stems from insecurity or a desire to provoke a reaction. Stoicism encourages us to recognize these underlying motivations and not take insults personally. By seeing insults as a reflection of the other person's issues, rather than a truth about yourself, you can detach emotionally and avoid letting their words affect your sense of self-worth. This perspective helps you navigate interactions with greater resilience. Setting boundaries is a practical Stoic strategy for managing insults. If someone consistently belittles or insults you, it's important to protect your own well-being by setting limits on how much you engage with them. Stoicism teaches us to avoid unnecessary conflict and to preserve our energy for more constructive interactions. By clearly establishing boundaries, you reduce the opportunities for such negative exchanges and maintain your own peace of mind. Engaging strategically with those who belittle or insult you involves choosing when to disengage. Stoicism advises that if a conversation becomes focused on personal attacks rather than meaningful dialogue, it's best to withdraw. By stepping away from unproductive conflicts, you conserve your energy and avoid exacerbating the situation. This approach aligns with Stoic principles of focusing on what is within your control and investing your efforts in more positive interactions. Ultimately, applying Stoic principles when faced with belittlement or insults helps you maintain your inner tranquility and dignity. By focusing on your own responses, understanding others' motivations, setting boundaries, and strategically disengaging, you navigate these situations with grace and resilience. Stoicism guides us to avoid engaging in futile arguments and to protect our own well-being. Embracing these strategies ensures that you remain steadfast and composed, even in the face of disrespect and provocation. Number 6. When they constantly shift the goalposts. Dealing with individuals who constantly shift the goalposts can be incredibly frustrating. Stoic philosophy offers valuable insights on how to handle such situations. When someone continually changes the criteria or rules of a discussion, it's often a tactic to avoid a productive resolution. Instead of getting entangled in their shifting demands, Stoics advise us to maintain our focus and clarity. By not reacting to their manipulations, you protect your own mental peace and avoid being dragged into pointless arguments. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control. When faced with someone who shifts the goalposts, you cannot control their behavior, but you can control your response. Rather than getting frustrated by their evasive tactics, remain steadfast in your own principles and clear about your own stance. This approach aligns with Stoic values of maintaining inner tranquility and dignity, allowing you to navigate the situation without being thrown off course by their changing demands. Understanding the motives behind shifting the goalposts is essential. Often, This tactic is used to create confusion or avoid accountability. Stoicism encourages us to see through such strategies and recognize that the problem lies not with us, but with their approach. By understanding that their behavior is a reflection of their own issues rather than a critique of your position, you can detach emotionally and avoid letting their tactics affect your sense of self-worth. Setting boundaries is a practical Stoic strategy for dealing with constantly shifting goalposts. When you recognize that a discussion is being manipulated, it's important to protect your own well-being by establishing limits. Stoicism teaches us to avoid engaging in discussions that do not lead to constructive outcomes. By setting clear boundaries on how much time and energy you invest, you can preserve your mental resources and focus on more meaningful and productive interactions. Engaging strategically with individuals who shift the goalposts involves choosing when to disengage. Stoic philosophy advises that if a conversation becomes endlessly circular or focused on changing criteria, it may be best to withdraw. By stepping away from unproductive debates, you conserve your energy and avoid exacerbating the situation. This approach aligns with Stoic principles of focusing on what you can control and investing your efforts in more fruitful exchanges. Ultimately, applying Stoic principles in situations where goalposts are constantly shifted helps maintain your composure and clarity. By focusing on your own responses, understanding the motivations behind the behavior, setting boundaries, and choosing when to disengage, you navigate these challenging interactions with grace. Stoicism guides us to avoid engaging in futile arguments and to protect our own well-being. Embracing these strategies ensures that you stay grounded and focused, even when faced with evasive tactics. Number 7. When they never admit they are wrong. In life, we often encounter individuals who never admit they are wrong. From a Stoic philosophy perspective, arguing with such people is futile and drains your energy. The Stoics believed that focusing on things you can control, like your own reactions, is key to maintaining peace of mind. Trying to convince someone who refuses to see reason often leads to frustration. Instead, it is wiser to focus on your own understanding and let go of the need to win the argument. This brings a sense of calm and control over your emotions. Stoicism teaches us to avoid wasting time on those who are unwilling to listen. Arguing with someone who is blinded by their ego or who stubbornly sticks to their wrong beliefs only makes us more agitated. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone refuses to admit their mistakes, it is not our responsibility to change them. We control our reactions, not their stubbornness. One of the most powerful teachings of Stoicism is the idea of not getting involved in arguments with fools. A fool, in this context, is someone who is emotionally reactive and irrational. Trying to reason with them only pulls you into their emotional chaos. By staying calm and detached, you protect your own inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic thinker, reminds us to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This means leading by example, not by argument. If someone cannot admit they are wrong, they may not be ready for personal growth. Arguing with such a person is like trying to teach a closed mind. Stoicism encourages us to show compassion without entangling ourselves in the drama. By stepping back and choosing not to engage, you give them space to reflect on their behavior. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than words, allowing others to realize their mistakes on their own terms. Stoic philosophy emphasizes focusing on the things within our control. Instead of getting lost in endless arguments with those who will never admit they are wrong, direct your energy toward your own growth. This doesn't mean you must accept their behavior, but rather, You prioritize your well-being over proving a point. Arguing with a fool not only wastes time but can also shift your focus away from important matters. Letting go of the argument frees up mental space for more productive and meaningful pursuits. The Stoics also encourage patience and understanding. Just because someone refuses to admit they are wrong doesn't mean we should harbor negative emotions toward them. We should treat others with kindness and recognize that everyone is on their own journey of learning. Stoicism teaches us that our character is shaped not by the actions of others, but by how we respond. Arguing with those who refuse to listen won't change them, but it will test our patience and integrity. I hope these Stoic teachings are useful and effective for you. My goal is to make your life better and more enjoyable. I will accompany you in this interesting and meaningful magazine.